Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's live Q&A. I'm here at Pillow HQ, the recording studio. As always, Grace is behind the scenes doing all the technical side, feeding in your questions. Today, we are talking about the intricacies of franchising. I was worried if I couldn't say intricacies there, so I agreed with Grace. I'll do it once, and then I'll just say all about franchising. Now, you'll have heard me talk lots about franchising over the years, and as we've built the Pillow Partners franchise network up here. But in lots of communications and lots of the things we do, I kind of take it for granted that the audience know what franchising is. Lots of misconceptions, misunderstandings, and when we're speaking about this, even franchising shows last weekend, we get asked the question, what exactly is a franchise? So guys, I wanted to cover this for you. I'm going to do two things today. I am going to talk to you about franchising and answer the questions. We have lots of questions that have already come out. I've sent it to our franchise list, so we will get some questions coming back as well live. But guys, I want to not make this about Pillow Partners. I want to make it about franchising in general. So if you're watching this and you've stumbled across it live or on the replay, this is going to be great knowledge about franchising in general. And one way I'm going to deliver that information is giving you I don't know what all the questions are, but giving a generic franchise, wider business industry answer to franchising questions. And then I'll compare it to Pillow Partners shortly or briefly at the end so that you can get a little bit of context to it. I'm going to use Pillow as a case study, but this isn't necessarily about Pillow. So welcome to all you guys watching live. I'm in my Safe Havens t-shirt today, so we always like to stay on brand. Robbie, the video guy, will shout at me for not having everything as Pillow Partners, but Safe Havens doing some charity stuff this morning. Again, one part of what we do at Pillow, we have our own charity and we're always fundraising. So some exciting things coming for that. But without further ado, I'm going to pop up the first question. And we're going to start off with one we got asked lots at the actual franchise convention 2 weeks ago, or two weekends ago in London. And it surprised me. Why would people come to a franchise show when they didn't really know what a franchise was? Well, for me, a franchise is you're buying a set of business models. You're buying a tried and tested system. So rather than coming up with an idea and saying, this is a new idea, it's a new product to market, I'm going to just make up everything from scratch. The systems, the procedures, marketing campaigns, phone scripts. You're going to come up with a new logo, a new brand. You're going to buy lots of things that you need to independently operate your business. But with a franchise, you're buying all this in already. People franchise their business when they get to a certain level of success, because you need tried and tested, proven systems here. And with a franchise, you're buying that ready-made business model. In the property market in general, if that's lettings, there's some big, well-known nationwide lettings franchises, hundreds and hundreds of branches. And that's a tried and tested model that's been going on for a couple of decades. So you're buying something. If I take McDonald's, guys, you could set up your own hamburger joint, but you could buy a McDonald's. And let's face it, do you think you would have more chance of success doing it yourself with your own brand of burger and making your own systems and how do I make burgers and how do I market and what location do I get, or with the world's biggest franchise, I believe, McDonald's, there to help and support you? You're buying their systems. Well, the chances are you would make more money and be more successful and have better systems and deliver a better product to clients with a McDonald's franchise. Now, at the franchise show I was at last 2 weeks ago, exhibiting with Pillow, a McDonald's franchise will cost you £1 million, 30,000, £1,030,000. It's £1 million to get the venue and £30,000 for the franchise fee. So you may make more money, but you're going to need £1 million to do that McDonald's franchise and pay them a lot of money monthly. So with buying that business model comes a cost, comes a price. Well, that's an initial franchise fee, in often cases it is, and then some form of profit share or contribution ongoing to the franchise as a license fee. But again, the business model for a franchise should be that you'd make profit quicker, you're going to make more money, and you get lots of help and support. And very much like with the Pillow Partners model of Stronger Together. For our hosts, we would make them more money than doing it themselves. Again, that's similar. Our business model is set up so that anyone looking to start a serviced accommodation management company would make more money or more profit with Pillow. So that's what a franchise is. It's a tried and tested set of systems that you can buy to just instantly start your business. Let's have a look at the next question. What are the steps involved in buying a franchise? Well, looking at franchises in general, you're going to need to probably pass some entrance tests. The franchisor is going to make sure that you are a good fit as a franchisee. Not just that you would be successful at it, but you would be a good fit for their team. And certainly for us, one of the biggest things that we look at isn't necessarily experience. It's about, would you fit into my family? I can't bring people in to the Pillow Partners family that are going to be detrimental. So one thing is this a good fit? The franchisor is going to look at a good fit for you. Maybe some due diligence, some credit checking, and some business plans to submit. Some franchise, again, I'll take McDonald's as a well-known one. You might need £1 million to get in. Subway franchise, a couple of 100,000, and then a venue. There was Dino Rod franchises and cleaning franchises. You're going to need a big van. So you're going to need to have finance in place for a lot of things. Not the case for Pillow because it's a low entrance fee. You may need to submit business plans. You may need to buy a territory. So that initial application process, application forms, due diligence, they may credit check you, and then having finance in place. Nice and simple for Pillow. Again, we'll not go into too much detail about Pillow here, guys. I'll answer the specific Pillow questions. I want to make this about franchising. We want to make sure, firstly, is your territory available? And we have a franchise survey. So we are going to get this all in advance. I think it's go onto our website, fill out the survey, and in less than 3 minutes, 16 questions, it will give you a score out of 100 as to whether you would be a good franchisee. So the steps involved in that are taken through in our franchise thing. But again, check with your franchisor exactly what's involved, because you don't want to get 3 or 4 steps down the process and there's something prohibitive for you. Remember, if you're trying to get into the military or the police or certain franchises in the care industry, you may get a criminal record check and you may not pass that. You may not be able to do it if you've got CCJs or been bankrupt. So these are the things you want to be honest about in advance. What startup capital with a Pillow Partners franchise need? Startup capital, guys, 2 different things here. I'll cover broad and then about Pillow. Number one is you're going to need the money to buy that business. To start off, I said McDonald's, £1 million, couple of 100,000 pounds for some of these businesses. But not only that, you're going to need operating cash flow. Very, very few businesses will instantly get you money covering your costs in day one. So again, a McDonald's franchise, you're going to need that money there to buy the initial things. You're then going to need to buy the franchise, buy all the initial stock. If you've got, I don't know, a bakery, you're going to need stuff in ovens and vans, premises. So you're going to pay staff. So you're going to franchise fee, the initial stock. And then I would say if you're buying a premises-based or a machinery-based thing, you're going to need ongoing money and cash flow. So any good franchisor would say it's costing you £500,000 to buy this franchise and then the stock, etc. But you're probably going to need those operating costs for at least 3 to 6 months. So always double check, guys, what's involved in that and make sure that you've got not just the initial franchise fee, but all the stuff you need to buy to make sure you can actually work your business. And then, of course, supporting yourself and your family. And nice and simple for Pillow. We have a really cool business model. I'm very proud of it. At the moment of recording this, always check in case you're watching it back later. It's £15,000 plus VAT. So you're going to need £18,000. The startup capital, other people in our industry with a similar business model require to have another £30,000-40,000 just to operate. We don't ask you to buy anything. So it's nice and simple. If you join Pillow, paid your £18,000. Guys, you would not need to buy anything else. The business model's operating at a 95% plus profit margin. You don't need stock. You don't need fucking daft laundry stores or cars or offices. We don't ask you to do any of this nonsense. We just want you to be the local person in the area, and we pay for everything else here at HQ. On ongoing stuff, I'd say you just want 3 months' money to support your family. The one thing we will ask is, depending how many hours you put into it, guys, if you're going full time, you will get 4 times the success, is 4 times as fast as you would doing 10 hours a week. So £18,000 for Pillow. Don't really need any startup capital because we pay for everything. But what we will ask is that your cash flow in the first 6 months is going to be okay. We don't want anyone joining that's going to be under pressure for that. Who can become a Pillow Partners franchisee? For us, there's a first stage in this is filling out our survey. As we said before, less than 3 minutes, 16 multiple choice questions. It's over 4 different areas. So for us, things that matter, well, obviously the initial startup capital. We want you to be financially able to do this. We don't want you overstretching yourselves. It's pointless going through the process if you're in skint and debt, bankrupt, don't have any money, need an instant job. Next, we are looking at the commitment. So we are going to need you to be able to do something with this business. No point in getting the business plan, the business in the box, everything you need to build a 6-figure service accommodation management business. If you don't have any time to do it, it's just going to be pointless. So time and commitment's another thing. For us, experience is the third thing. Not a problem if you don't, but we do prefer people with experience. Many franchises that join us don't have experience even running a business. But our roadmap, our 24-month franchisee success blueprint takes you through that from start to finish. So when you fill out the survey app, even if you're scoring really, really, really low for experience, it all comes down to the last thing for us. And the last thing that we look at, guys, is mindset. In the survey, we'll ask you a series of questions. If you've got hundreds of thousands of pounds in the bank, you've got all the time in the world, you've got all the commitment, but your mindset's wrong. As I said at the start, very, very protective about who we bring into Pillow, to the family. How are you going to be in the group training calls in person? How are you going to represent the Pillow brand when you're out and about? Are you going to be a positive or a negative to all the other people in Pillow? And that, to me and the team, is the most important part. To join other franchises, they may be really, really complicated. For me, you're going to have calls with myself, the Chief Operations Officer, Emma. We'll put you in touch with a few other franchisees, and we're going to go with the mindset thing. We want right people in here. The main tagline is stronger together. We want everybody coming in to contribute to the whole. We don't want them to make it worse. So for me, to keep it nice and brief, it's all about mindset and you as a person. So that's who we're looking for, not necessarily experience and skills. How can one evaluate the profitability of a franchise? Guys, you definitely want to do all your due diligence here. There's 3 ways you can look at this. One is the projections that the franchisor gives you. They should give you a nice, clear roadmap, some projections of best case, worst case, average case. So you want to look at the literature and the information the franchisor is giving you. Second is speaking to other franchisees and seeing what the general pattern of success is. If we're selling a franchise making decoupage cards, handmade cards, and you're the only person there, we're able to comprehend we're never going to get a 6-figure business because of the time it makes to make a decoupage card by hand or a little, gift for someone. You're only going to be able to make one of them every 2 hours. If you're selling it for a £5, you're making hardly any money. So you'll be able to work out, and that's the third part of this, is looking and making your own research here. Yes, there's literature. Yes, there's going to be successful franchisees, but look at that business model as a whole. If we are out carpet cleaning for £50 an hour, excuse me, I'm nearly falling over. That was my very first job before we set all this up, and I left the armed forces. Carpet cleaning, £50 an hour. And I worked every hour. There's only so many hours you can work in a day. So that means your income is limited. That means your profit's limited because you're going to have things. So if you're seeing crazy opportunities that don't work any hours, work an hour a week and make £1 million, it's probably unlikely. So how many hours are you going to dedicate to that? Work it out. You'll be able to do it in the example of decoupage cards. Will the business model actually, in common sense terms, make that amount of money, or are you going to be working too many hours to make that per hour? Is it feasible? So carpet cleaning, is it feasible for me to charge £1,000 an hour for carpet cleaning every hour? No. Could I charge £50 back in the day? Yes, because that's great value. Could I work 10 hours a day? Yes. So I could get, what's that, 500 quid a day. But I couldn't be making £20,000 a month being a carpet cleaner. So hopefully that makes sense. Look at the projections, look at other franchisees, and look at the business model as a whole. Do your due diligence and your research. The next question is, what are the common challenges faced by franchise owners? Depends on the franchise, this one, guys. So I'll keep this general. If you've been sold a franchise that isn't quite right for you, your mindset, your skills, your experience don't match up. Let's say it's a multi-level marketing product, a low entry franchise of a couple of hundred quid, or £5,000, or even free, then people don't really care about matching the right person. It's about numbers. So if that franchise isn't a good match for you to start off with, let's say you're taking a franchise for children's tutoring and you hate kids, well, that's going to be a really, really tough one. If I had to take a language tuition franchise, I'm not good at learning foreign languages. It's going to be very, very hard for me. So the fit is a good one here. What is the economy doing in your market? If you are selling luxury cruises, and there's a thing that happens where Shingela starts hitting cruise liners, people aren't going to want to book it. Is it seasonality? So definitely personality is one, skills is another. How strong is the franchisor? How strong is the training? I think time commitment for Pillow is a big one. People say, yeah, I'm happy to join, I can't wait to join the team. But actually, what you get with Pillow regards training, there's so many calls, so many online things, editable PDFs, coaching calls, mentoring, masterminds. So I'd say the common challenge for Pillow, and what we've found the last few years, we've got some amazing franchisees joined us. The biggest challenge is time. If you're only doing it 10 hours a week, you're going to get 25% the results than someone doing it full time. That makes sense? So if you're trying to squeeze in a new business opportunity and build even a Pillow franchise like in 5 hours a week, I think it'll be difficult versus the people that are doing it 40 full time. They're just going to be charging ahead. So time is definitely one. With franchises as well, I think not with Pillow because there's no ongoing costs. But remember, guys, you're going to need to constantly be earning money to pay your bills. So cash flow can be a problem. If you're taking let's say even a normal residential lettings franchise, not in competition with us, you're going to need an office, you're going to need a car branded, your fixed cost may be £6,000 a month from day one. So the time to build your business, you may need to be paying £100,000 a year break even point. So if you're getting between 50 and 60, 70, 80 quid per property, you're going to need to keep getting those properties. Those properties will fall off with natural churn. You're going to need to keep marketing and working hard. So again, just getting that income in, paying your bills, cash flow is a big thing. What I will say, and this is a nice snippet for social media, a fact that I learned: the business failure rate in the first 3 years is 80%. Entrepreneurial businesses fail. I think it's 80% of businesses fail in the first 3 years, but only 20% of franchises fail. So if you're thinking of starting any business and you've got the opportunity to take a franchise, if you do it alone, you've got an 80% failure rate, but you've only got a 20% failure rate as a franchisee. Flip that around, do it yourself, 20% success rate. Do it with someone else, a franchise, a solid franchise, you've got an 80% success rate. I like those odds. Next question, what kind of support will franchisees receive? Guys, any franchise should just be giving you all the support you need. It's pointless you being a franchise with any franchise, or if you're not going to be a success, you're taking a region and a territory, it just looks bad for the franchisor. So double check what training and stuff you are going to get, making that specific to Pillow. If you've seen the emails, if you're signed up for our franchise emails, you'll see our roadmap, our franchisee success blueprint over 24 months. So what you're going to see in that, it's kind of overwhelming and mind-blowing, the support that you get with Pillow, mastermind groups, coaching, mentoring, 15 different steps towards your £100,000 income, 5 different levels of a franchisee with 5 different types of support and coaches. And you're going to get open days, you're going to get coaching calls every week, you're going to get group calls every 2 weeks. So many things that I can't list here because it would just take me the rest of the call. But the feedback is there's more training. We never catch up. The training academy is really accelerating this year. And I don't think MD will ever catch up in all the training there. We're going to need to be a bit of an information magnet to sit there and actually look at all the different training modules, because what you get, you'll rattle through the professional things like property management, service accommodation, but there's so much more we're loading in. So all of the professional stuff for your trade, you need to know it to manage properties with Pillow, but softer skills, timekeeping, management, leadership, sales, presenting, objection handling. So to keep it short, more than you'll never catch up. This year, you'll never catch up in the training academy. If you're doing the tasks, if you're doing the training, there'll be so much there, you'll get to pick and choose the one that's right for your career. What makes a good franchisee? Well, we've covered this in a little bit of detail for Pillow, but again, any franchisor should tell you in advance. We don't leave it to chance, franchisors. We have what we call an avatar. So we'll have an avatar of here is the perfect franchisee for us. I don't think any franchisor of a solid business wants someone that isn't a good fit. So I think everyone would be doing their best to weed out people. And if you've had a franchise call with me, the next stage would be with the operations officer, Emma. And I always say in my calls that Emma's job's to talk you out of it. Again, I would tell you about the opportunity to give you the higher level, but Emma's job's to dig in and find out if it is a good fit for you. We'd mentioned earlier, there is a survey. We don't leave this to chance with Pillow. We want you to take that initial survey. It's over the 4 different elements: commitment, experience, your finances, and your mindset. And over those 16 questions, that gives us a good indication, and you, of whether this is a good fit and indeed if it's a good time for you. So you can do that. It takes less than 3 minutes unless you're really thinking about things, but it's multiple choice. And that allows us to have a deeper conversation when we book in a franchise discovery call. We're always there for questions, so you can ask us. But for us, as we had mentioned, experience isn't necessarily what we're looking for, because we can train property management. It's other things like mindset. So what makes a good thing? If I had to think of our avatar, definitely positive, happy, friendly, good communicator, willing to learn, good at technology, has some experience in property, although not necessarily, business, loyal, ethical, has good cash flow. We want someone, again, you can do it with your family, so you can come in as a group. So a nice chunky question, but take the survey. It will tell you whether it's there, but every franchisee will be different for every franchisor. So again, just someone there that's going to make a good effort of it. I would always say coachable, regardless of the franchise. Are you willing to do the training? We'll talk about people being smart asses and smart. I'm too smart to need to do the training. Nobody in that like Pillow, because our model weeds that out. But ambitious entrepreneurs that take franchises often overestimate their abilities when they actually get a business that is systemized, that every single procedure, checklist, task is there for them. Some people like to cut corners and say, I'm too smart to follow the basics. But someone that's willing to learn, willing to follow a system makes a good franchisee. Perfect, right. Grace has kindly put the link in, pillowfranchise.scoreapp.com. That should come up under these posts as well. So if you're watching live, check the comments and that will be down there. Again, nice. And it also sends you our franchise information as well. So you'll find out in a lot more detail about everything we are talking about. pillowfranchise.scoreapp.com. And if you've signed up for the emails, go back and check them. We always share that. Thank you very, very much, Grace. I'll make sure I don't miss questions. Little question from YouTube. Can I do a franchise with a family member? Absolutely. We spoke last time about avatars. One of our avatars is actually a family doing this. We have lots of demographics of people doing this together. We have husband and wife, wife and wife. We've got father and daughter, sisters, and mother and daughter. So people come in, we've got a whole family coming together. So mum, dad, and son. So we've got lots of people coming together as a group. Absolutely love this. It's one of our main avatars for this year. This is who makes a good franchisee or group of franchisees. Because if you've got, let's say, a husband and wife, two people married, wife and wife, husband and husband, it doesn't matter. One person will naturally have skills and, let's say, sales or presenting or, doing that. The other person would be good at property management, at customer service, dealing with guests. Again, making too broad generalizations there, but most of the time, one person in the family or partnership will be good at stuff better than the other person. Split the tasks. You're there to double learn, and then you can focus on your strengths. So yeah, definitely 100% do it with a family member. To extrapolate this a little bit, could I do it with a business partner or a friend? You could, but a little bit more cautious about that, guys. We need to dig in a little bit deeper. You can't really get rid of a family member. It's a big thing to split up with your wife or your husband, but business partnerships come and go. I've been in business 2 decades now. Business partnerships come and go, and we see people who are so tight. One bad business thing can just destroy friendships. So make sure if you're going into business with anybody and you're investing money in a franchise, not just pillows, make sure that partnership is tight. Even if it's a super solid friendship, you've been from school, business money can rip people apart. So double check. But family's generally okay. So yeah, you definitely can. And actually, we love it. Do franchisees need a physical office space? And the answer is no. We have made this franchise unique. We are a property management company, but it is a full work from home position. You don't need daft laundry stores. You don't need to be investing in offices. You don't need to take leases and pay rent in advance and pay rates and get signage and have the local authority telling you what font you can use. None of that. You'll get a franchise area. As long as an hour's drive, depends on the franchise area that you get. You can work from home. Some people do have co-working spaces, rent a desk. As you grow, you may want to, but to be honest, your first till you get to £60,000 a year, you're going to be absolutely fine working from home. And you don't even need to take staff on, because we will sort that out for you. We'll train them, they'll work at HQ, they'll do your work for you here, and you get free staff members once you hit that £60,000 plus. So you don't even need to build your own staff unless you want to. But you definitely don't need an office. It means you'll work from home, no traveling time, fantastic. 20-meter commuting distance, but some people choose to get away from the kids and the family and go and work, but you don't need that commitment. You've got a desk, and you can always come up. We're all open days here all the time. We've got the training suite, so if you do need that time away, you're always welcome to utilize our office at any point in time. Will a franchise supply me with leads? Depends on what franchise you are getting. Perhaps if it's a multi-level marketing franchise, your job's to go and get the leads. They'll supply the physical product. You don't need to manufacture it. So your job as a salesperson, your job is to get leads. Some franchisees, your job is to do something locally and they will get you the leads. With Pillow, it is a mixture. If I think what leads came to franchisees, I believe it's on average between 60 and 65% historically leads that get passed from us. So you get 65% of your new business, 65% of your income basically comes from the Pillow Partners HQ network. This year it's going to be a lot more, and we've got new teams qualifying leads for you. So I don't want to say it's super high, because I want the franchisees out going to networking, being the local person, building up their own sales pipeline, becoming the local expert. So although it will be a lot more than 65% moving forward, I don't really want to encourage that. I want you guys to go and get your own leads. I want you to build your sales skills, your marketing skills, go to networking, your presenting skills. So you are the local person. You should be able to get better leads in your local area than I should up here at HQ in Glasgow. So we do want you building your own leads, because if we are doing it and you're doing it stronger together, you are the local person. You're much more likely to get leads. But the big marketing machine we have here at Pillow, we would get you a large proportion of your leads to support you. And again, they're qualified leads as well. How long does it take to get a franchise up and running? So for up and running, I'm going to change that terminology. Don't know who asked that question, Grace, but I'm going to call it the break-even point. The break-even point is when do you make your money back that you've invested in a franchise. If we go for the initial investment here, I believe, and if someone from Subway is watching, I googled this for an old franchise webinar, 6 years before you make your initial money back, because you've got to pay your premises, your ongoing stuff, your initial franchise fee. So it could take you 6 years before you pay your money back. Think if you to start something from you and you took a loan to pay for it, then it could take 6 years to pay that back. For Pillow, it should be 6 or 7 months. I've seen people do it in 2. Nice and simple, just building their portfolio. I've got a big block on and done, but I think you'd make your initial franchise fee back in a year. In fact, we've offered many, many guarantees where if you didn't make your money back in a year, we would give you your franchise fee back in full. So we don't know how long it's going to take you, but we would be happy. We've been happy to offer guarantees that if you don't make your money back, but you attend training, there's certain criteria. If you don't make your money back in a year, we'll give you the difference. So we're pretty confident with that. But you need to have paid in full, because we want you to commit. You can't get money back that you haven't paid. We want you to attend training. You need to turn up and do the coaching calls. So again, it's down. If you follow the model, guys, with Pillow, you'd be making your money back in a year. So there's no problem with that. But again, some franchises where you're paying a McDonald's at £1 million to buy your location, going to take you a long time to make that money back. How many burgers do you need to sell to make £1 million in profit? It's a lot. So we would expect up and running. Again, if you've signed up for the emails, we go through this in a lot of detail. There's 5 levels to being a franchisee, 15 different steps on our success blueprint. And we would expect 6 months. You're in level 1 coaching. So that's the launch phase. We would expect you to be through up and running, on board, and get your first 10 properties, perhaps your first £3,000 income, following the new model. Full time, 6 months, and then you go on to the next coaching level. But it is all down to you, your skills, experience, and how much you're willing to commit to it, and in some cases, your area as well. What if I want to exit the franchise? It depends on your franchise agreement. This is for franchisees in general. It depends on your franchise agreement. There's some of our competitors that they're going to want a £1,200 license fee off you for 5 years. I'm told they'll take you to court for that. So you're in for £100. So if you were in a month and didn't want to do it anymore, you'd still need to pay £100,000. Sorry. So you would pay them £1,200 a month for 5 years. Even if you didn't want to do it anymore. And apparently you're contractually obliged to that. Some people, if you exited the franchise, would put a manager in place to do that, and they would charge you for it. Some people just let you out of it. Some people pay it back. And for us, we have a triple guarantee. And we would take your franchise back. If you have a franchise and you followed a certain criteria, we would buy it back off you. And in some instances, we would take it back. We would operate it for you guys, and then you would get ongoing money of that for as long as that region existed. So it's our triple guarantee makes it risk-free for us. But guys, always read your franchise agreement and double check you're not getting tied into something. All franchise agreements will protect the franchisor, so it needs to. Otherwise, it's pointless having an agreement. But it should be reasonable enough for you to exit. But even if there's penalties and clauses, as long as you know them in advance when you're buying whatever franchise, you can. But with Pillow, there's a triple guarantee. You always get out your franchise, and you'd never ever lose money. What are the minimum hours you would need to dedicate to a franchise? Again, this depends on your franchise opportunity. For some things, you're buying a business model, and that business model is to put staff in place, is to have high fixed costs. Again, nice and simple, the franchise for McDonald's, shit, you're going to need a lot of money for your lease. You're going to need, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 staff in a McDonald's franchise when it shifts. So you're going to maybe have 50, 60,000 pounds break even point of a month, maybe more than that. But that means you don't need to work physically flipping burgers. It's a management system you're buying, and you're getting people to do it. Like cleaning, for example. A cleaning franchise isn't going to get you to go and clean for 8 hours a day. You'll be managing a series of cleaners. So you may be able to do that in a couple of hours once it's up and running. And guys, like any business, I will put it to you like this, and I'll make this nice and simple. If someone is offering you an opportunity to make fucking 6 figures a year for doing nothing, residual income, there's a good chance it's bullshit and you've been lied to. So if MD's saying residual income, no work at all, absolutely no work at all, and I'll make you a millionaire, a good chance that you've been bamboozled there and they're making money off you. Again, I don't want that to be negative thinking for you guys. Like I say, there's many business opportunities there that is all about management and thinking rather than doing. But guys, for us, you're going to need to be in this 20 hours. We've really changed this year. I used to say 10. If you're working full time, depends on your region, we may let you join, but you're going to need to have a plan with your coaches to be working on this at least 30 hours a week. People are going to come in for 10 hours, don't ever catch up in the training. They miss all the calls. They're really, really at a bad position to even learn the basics. So you could maybe start in 10. It's all down. You'd need to speak to your coach and get a proper plan in place. But I think full-time's best for us. If you're going to be building a 6-figure business, you're not going to be able to do it with Pillow in 5 hours a week. I don't even believe it's possible anywhere. And you can fall for all that rent-to-rent bullshit or any of these other online gurus. Please feel free to prove me wrong. But again, for us, you need at least 10 hours for the first couple of months, but then you're going to need to jump to 20 and think if you're doing it 20 hours a week and someone's doing it 40 hours a week, they're going to have double the success that you are. However, if you already have a portfolio to bring over, if you can get a block of apart hotels, if you give an example with apart hotels in the Isle of Wight in Skegness, outside Edinburgh, if you've got a block of 30 in an apart hotel, that's you already built your portfolio. One of the apart hotel managers literally looked out the back of their house outside Edinburgh and could see the apart hotel out at back garden. So no traveling distance. They were all in the one place. That means you could manage that in a lot less time than 30 properties scattered about a big geographical area. So guys, a minimum of 10 to start, but the more the better. But we would need to discuss that with you. What are the paternal earnings of a franchise? In general, guys, always check with your franchise brochures and double check that in advance. You should be very, very clear about that. I'll answer it for Pillow. I'm always reluctant to do that because I don't like, if you've heard me speaking for the previous things here, the whole bullshit around building residual income and selling stuff for fixed money. But the franchise success blueprint here, the 24-month roadmap, is all about building a 6-figure income. That caveat to that, you're going to need to be in it and working hard on it. You're going to need to have the right attitude. You don't need to be super special for that, guys. We're taking that as an average person with average skills, but with the right mindset. Come back to the very first thing, mindset. So you can make 6 figures in this industry, not even for 40 hours, less than that. But guys, not everybody wants to do that. With a 100 grand business comes extra bits and bobs. Some people just want 5 grand a month, and as soon as they hit that, they're happy. 60 grand a year, a 95% profit margin business, like clearing 60 grand a year in the bank. Happy with that. And some people don't want to progress. Why? They want to pick kids up for school. They want to start something else, do their property renovations. They want to be an artist. They want to go horse riding. So we don't push people to that, but the opportunity is there for that. So you definitely can. That is, well, guys, that is the end of it. I saw 2 or 3 of these questions coming in advance, and people passing them on social media, and Grace has popped them on. This is a brief overview of the franchise industry. I didn't want to make it all about Pillow Partners, but now that the things I can comment on is the Pillow Partner side of it, so I can do that with authority. I know the answer to that. I don't know how much you could make with a McDonald's franchise or a carpet cleaning franchise, but the general principles are the same. Thank you much for the questions. Guys, if you didn't get your question answered on the live, please pop it below and we'll try and figure it out, or email it over to franchise@pillowpartners.co.uk. If you're watching this on the replay and there's something I haven't covered, or I've been talking too fast because I'm Scottish and excited and you haven't understood what I've said, or I've not went into enough detail, please pop me a message over franchise@pillowpartners.co.uk and we'll get it answered in the next one, or I'll even make a very quick reply on my phone and answer you personally. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great week, and I'll see you here 12:30 next week.